Imagine this. You are 20 years old. You are running across a ridge of wet limestone, chasing a deer through the mist. Your foot slips. You hear the crack before you feel it, a sharp, sickening snap echoing inside your own body. Your leg bends at an angle that legs were never meant to bend. The pain hits a second later, white hot and blinding. Now, here is the part that should terrify you. It is 50,000 years ago. There are no hospitals, no morphine, no ambulance coming to save you. You are lying on cold rock, miles from your camp, and the sun is going down. The wolves are already howling. What happens next? Most people assume you die, and honestly, you probably should. A broken femur is a death sentence in the wild. You cannot run, you cannot hunt, you cannot even walk to water. In a world where every calorie matters, where weakness attracts predators, the math is brutal. But here is the strangest thing about our ancestors: they did not always die. In fact, some of them lived for years after catastrophic injuries. And the reason why changes everything you think you know about what it means to be human. Meet Shanidar 1. He was a Neanderthal man who lived roughly 50,000 years ago in what is now Iraq. When archaeologists found his skeleton, they were stunned. This man had been shattered. His skull was cracked, his right arm withered from nerve damage. He was blind in one eye, probably deaf, and had suffered a crushing blow to his face so severe it would have made breathing difficult. And then they looked at his legs. His left femur, the strongest bone in the human body, had been snapped clean through, not a hairline fracture, a full break, and it had healed, not perfectly, but enough that he could move again. Here is the impossible part. Shanidar 1 lived for at least another decade after that injury. Think about what that means. For weeks, maybe months, he could not walk. He could not gather food. He could not defend himself. In a harsh Ice Age winter, he needed shelter, water, food, and protection from predators and rival groups. Someone had to carry him. Someone had to chew his meat because his teeth were worn down from compensating for his injuries. Someone had to decide, consciously, that he was worth keeping alive. And they did. But how? First, they knew how to set bones, not with textbooks, but with trial and error over hundreds of thousands of years. Archaeological evidence shows that early humans used wooden splints, tightly bound with sinew or strips of animal hide. They used plant fibers as natural bandages. They knew which herbs dulled pain: willow bark, which contains salicylic acid, the same compound in aspirin. They used poultices of leaves and clay to fight infection. But the real medicine was not the splint, it was the group. A broken bone forced a tribe to do something extraordinary: slow down. While you healed, others hunted for you. They brought you water. They guarded you while you slept. They made the choice that your life was more valuable than the extra calories you consumed. This is not sentimentality. This is survival strategy. A species that abandons its injured is a species that loses its knowledge, its memory, its storytellers. The old man who knew where the berries grew in winter. The woman who remembered which caves stayed dry during floods. The hunter who had seen every trick the prey could pull. Evolution did not just favor the strongest, it favored the ones who stuck together. And this was not rare. At the Krapina site in Croatia, a Neanderthal teenager was found with a severe forearm fracture that had healed cleanly, suggesting someone immobilized it long enough for the bone to knit. At Cima de los Huesos in Spain, a 400,000-year-old skull shows signs of severe cranial trauma that healed over time. Even Homo erectus fossils show individuals who survived years with debilitating injuries. These were not lucky accidents. This was a pattern. For at least 500,000 years, our ancestors looked at a broken, bleeding member of their group and made a choice. Not the easy choice, the hard one. So the next time you see an x-ray of a broken bone pinned with titanium plates, remember this. The surgery is new, but the instinct to save you is ancient. That instinct is older than language, older than art, older than religion. It is written into the healed femurs and cracked skulls of people who lived in caves and died without names, but who proved something that no predator, no ice age, and no wilderness could ever erase. We do not survive because we are the fastest, or the strongest, or the smartest alone. We survive because when one of us falls, the rest stop running. And that is the oldest human technology of all.